Hello there. These are talks that I do about health generally and things that can enhance your mood and assist you to meditate or at least start to think about ways of solving problems, particularly with health and or other things. So today I thought I would try a candle affirmation, which is just to kind of implant in my brain things that I would need to do in order to be a wee bit more healthy. One of the things I'm trying to do is stop smoking. And I started on that thought yesterday because I had bought a brand of cigarette I don't like, and I thought that might help. But of course, now withdrawals are kind of kicking in. And then I start to think, well, maybe this is not a good time given that there's all this stuff going on with the film Nessie. And it might be better to wait until there's less stress and go through the horrible withdrawal then. That's my thought. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm just talking myself out of it. So I don't know how I'll progress with that. I have a few things here that might be helpful in essential oils, which is my go-to thing when things aren't going that great. I've had a kidney infection, so I felt that I needed to kind of kick my immune system into some way of helping out with this. And I thought what might help to activate that is diffusing some essential oils. And the ones that I use are by doTERRA, which are a little bit more expensive, a wee bit less accessible. You have to be a member to get doTERRA's things, and I'll be looking into that side of it again. I've always found them very useful. This one, black pepper, is allegedly very good with stopping smoking, and the withdrawals of it seems to assist. It is actually a very powerful oil. Obviously, it has that intensity of black pepper when you sprinkle it on food. You know, sometimes you get a bit of black pepper in the nasal passage and you go, wow, that's strong. This one doesn't make you sneeze, and when it is diffused, it's just like a strong spice from perhaps something like gingerbread. So that's the one that I'm relying on mostly for helping me out. These essential oils obviously come from ancient remedies and trees and plants, and have therefore been known for centuries to do certain things. Cederwood, I thought, might just help with my general mood to sort of ground me and keep me focused, which is obviously difficult when you're trying to give up something. And it's very good. This other uses of cedarwood is it's antifungal, and also interestingly enough, it wards off insects. Not sure how that's going to help, but I certainly think it's good for mood. It's quite a comforting smell. The other one that I've got here is frankincense, which is well known because it was the one that the wise men brought to Christ. Frankincense is very interesting because it does a lot of things. It's an antibacterial in many ways, and it also does things. It's the only one that crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it would be good for migraines, headaches, injuries of the head and that sort of thing, and other bacterial infections there. It's also got a very, very spiritual reputation, and it's known as the king of oils, the one that has most multiple properties of assisting in illness. And in fact, the smell of it is both comforting and focusing. So that one I would certainly be leaning on a little bit. And last but not least, because of a little of IBS, just with the antibiotics that I've been taking, is Fennel. Very famous for helping children cope with wind and flatulence. And again, it's a kind of licorice type smell, and it's a lovely smell. And this one in particular is brilliant in tea. So I might have some of that later on, maybe late afternoon, 4 o'clock, with something like some gingerbread, just to kind of combat the problem that you have that when you're giving up something, you're low in sugar. But I also thought spicy cakes might help me for some reason. And here I've got the cat, which I always find again is a comforting animal. I miss my cat. She passed away last year, but she was a tiger cat. She looks very much like this little ornament. And I think resorting to nature is always very good when you're feeling that way, feeling a bit vulnerable with things. I'm helping to distribute a film, Nessie, in cinemas. So perhaps it is not such a good time to give up smoking, and I might delay it a little bit, but I'll certainly continue to reduce and reduce and reduce my cigarettes. What I did do the other day was to divide them up into packets with just only 5 in each, so that I would maybe try and smoke 5 a day rather than 20 a day, which I think would be a helpful tactic. So I might go back to doing that, and I'm just sort of guiding people towards sort of not stopping something right away, because that can cause a reaction of depression, and people have actually, during withdrawals, actually committed suicide. So I wouldn't recommend that. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe just be gentle with myself, take it easy. I go back to the 5 cigarettes a day, and then when the stress is over, just kind of try the 3 days that you need to deal with the aftermath of the withdrawal period. So that's what I'm maybe thinking might be a good tactic. Certainly need to do a lot more mental work and psychological work to make it happen. And I feel that doing talks like this is good because it helps me to be accountable to myself and to everybody else while I'm trying this. Here we have a red kite feather. It's just a reminder to me of nature and of Native American spirituality, which I think is very good at this time because they concentrate on the relationship to the earth and not damaging the earth, and very much into communing with animals and the shaman spirit and all that sort of thing, which again I think is probably helpful when you're trying to get your mood to change, to have some willpower. And last but not least is the bell, which my aunt gave to me. I'm a great believer in the power of sound, being able to sort of clear spaces and the vibrations to move on electromagnetic energy, temporarily, of course. So I think that's my little pep talk to myself today. Thanks very much for listening. I hope to build this channel into a health channel, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you see this, and pass it on to others if you think somebody would be helped by this sort of thing. Going to just ring the bell. Bye for now.